Hello everybody, this is pt.6 and welcome back to some more Apollo Justice Ace Attorney Turnabout Serenade. In the previous episode we had started off trial day 1 for this case, and we heard Emma's testimony. But when we thought we were cornered, we called up Lamar to the stand, but it seems like that might have been a bad decision. But then again, Gavin likes to psych us out all the time. Perhaps we will drag something out of her that he didn't know about. Anyway, if you like what you see, leave a like down below, comment if you have anything to say, subscribe to me if you haven't already, and share with your friends that can join in on this investigation. Let's listen to Lamar. As for what I saw nothing. That night I was invited to sing on stage, and this I did. I did not return backstage after the second set. I was led by the police to Mr. Gavin's dressing room and told to wait there. This was when I learned that something had happened, but I wasn't told the details. Hope he was too distracted to hear what she was actually saying. There you have it, she saw nothing that night. Now we can only pray that the defense has the sense to admit defeat. Refrain from detaining her here any longer than need be. Wow, you just got better, Apollo. Way to go. Ugh. Amor wouldn't talk to me the night of the crime. She must know something, and I've got to find out what. What I saw nothing. Hold it! But you must have seen something. Mr. Letou named you. Mr. Letou? How can I tell you what I don't know? Lamar, he said you were a witness with his dying words. I do not know what he meant to say, but that night I was invited to sing on stage, and this I did. It was a great concert. You heard me sing. Thank you. I was hoping to get an autograph later, actually. Of course. Yeah, Judge. My autograph. Now keep this trial moving. What? Apparently his grandson is a big fan. Let's continue, shall we? If you would, Lamar. Tell us what you did after your stellar performance. I did not return backstage after the second set. Hold it! You did not return backstage once? Where were you then? What were you doing? I was cleaning up on the stage. There are many things I must do for a performance other than simply sing. And was Maki with you at the time? Unfortunately, I do not know where he was. So much for an alibi for Maki. Then I was led by police to Mr. Gavin's dressing room and told to wait there. I know what to present. Sorry, Lamar, but I'm having trouble believing you. You remember this brooch, do you not? Was it's Lamar's. She was wearing it for a song. Care to add that to the testimony, Prosecutor Gavin? What? This brooch was found after the murder took place, at the very scene of the crime. What? Lamar, how did your brooch get backstage if you did not go there yourself? And as Prosecutor Gavin has just told us, you had been wearing it during your performance that night. Lamar, please explain. Lamar? Oh, don't you go back into your foreign language. She says English quite difficult. This trick's not gonna work here. Forehead may be large, but you are a lawyer, truly. But you have missed one important fact. What now? Fact, at the time of the incident, I went backstage, but only for a moment. What? Think back to the moment of the crime. You know whereof I speak. Is she really saying all that? What's she talking about, Apollo? Right when the incident occurred, is she talking about that? That's this room for me. I have to call for backup. Right, understood. You want me to make sure no one comes in, right? Can you hear me? Right, witness, you're cold. Okay, we've been through this so many times already. Emma, what was that? Who's there? What's wrong? Emma, did you see anyone just now? No. Could have sworn I heard a door close. I looked into the room. Just a glance, mind you. So when your brooch dropped, that explains that. It does. There was no other time I could have dropped it. But that's ridiculous. You only looked for an instant, but you dropped your brooch? And forehead. She has raised the possibility. The only thing that can counter that is evidence. Actually, I intended to go into the dressing room, but knew nothing of what happened, of course. But the moment I opened the door, I heard a horrible voice. Forward shouting, forward shouting, who's there, no doubt. Horrible voice indeed. Closed the door immediately. It's too convenient. She's hiding something. Lamore, you did look into the room, though, right? Yes. Testify to what you saw. Very well. There was only the briefest of glimpses. When the performance was finished, I went backstage for just a moment. Saw nothing. The late Mr. Lotus's body was behind the wall. Okay. There's gotta be something. Obviously, because the bracelet is reacting. It's obviously one of these two statements. What could be reacting? Yeah. With Maki, correct? How was he then? He seemed as he always does, though I believe he was shocked by the news of Mr. Lotus's death. Yet he is not the type to show much emotion. It has given the police no end of the headaches. His answer to most questions was silence, and his glaring frames speak nothing. His questioning hasn't gotten very far. We sat there waiting. That was where I learned that something had happened, but I wasn't told the details. How was the incident explained to you? I was told nothing in detail, only that Mr. Lotus died. Of course, the Lotus was my manager. I wanted to know more. I should have been told. But both Maki and I were being ourselves with concern. Beside ourselves. I may apologize, but please understand. Keeping you in the dark was as painful for me as it was for you. I understand. Think, what doesn't ring true about her testimony? How do you imagine Lamar lying? Might not be lying, but so she's hiding something. What wouldn't she tell me the night of the murder? Oh, okay. I was looking in the right spot earlier.
Gotcha!
You may have seen the world, but now I've seen your heart. You're flustered during your testimony just now. I do not understand what it is you're saying. Perhaps it's a joke in your culture. It seems very flustered to me, Apollo. Maybe I got that one wrong. I have to look harder. I have to find that weak spot. I saw nothing. Oh, her throat! Again, I was looking in the right spot. I was just looking in the wrong spot.
Gotcha!
There it is. Alright. The late Mr. Latusse's body, you say? Yes. You know something more about Mr. Latusse's death than you were saying. What? I can see you're trying not to remember, but the effort made you swallow. You can't fool my eyes. It is true. It was so terrible after all. Why did Mr. Latouche have to be shot? One moment, Lamar. Yes? What was that you just said? Why did Mr. Latouche have to be shot? Yes. She was hiding something, I knew it! Lamar, I'm afraid you haven't realized it yet, but your words just now contradict your testimony. How could that be? Take this. Lamar contradicts your own testimony, and I have the evidence to prove it. What? I think it's this. I don't misunderstand the meaning of contradiction. It is you who contradict, Mr. Justice. Huh? Evidence is meaningless. Ah, wrong evidence! I think this over. What did she say again? Why did Mr. Latouche have to be shot? It totally contradicts your testimony. Take this. Was shot. Tell me, Lamar, how did you know he had been shot? Well, immediately following the incident, a gag order was placed on the scene. This is the document proving that. In your testimony, you told the court, no one told me anything about the incident. Furthermore, you testified that you had seen nothing. You knew that Mr. Latouche had been shot. How could you have known? I don't know how to make that noise, so I'm not even going to attempt it. York? It sound like Goofy. Sorry. No, don't hide something from the court, I hope. That sweet song of hers was sounding a little too sweet. Now I remember. Please, allow me to add to my testimony. Of course. We all want to know. It's the truth. Looks kinda pale, huh? She saw something, I know it. Even the victim said so. I saw bullet holes in the wall and knew Mr. Latouche had been shot. Only a glimpse, yet you knew they were bullet holes? Yes, I recognized them immediately. I've seen bullet holes before, you know. Travel the world as a singer. And also sung in places far more dangerous than our country. I go wherever my voice is needed. Those places are many these days. It's really cool. I hope I get to travel like a little more someday. Planning on recording my next album overseas. Students have different sound, you know. Maybe I should go on a course of steel tour, too. Oops. Oh, stop it. Jeez. Evidence, thank you. Now here's where we bring up the diagram. You couldn't have seen it. Lamora, they call you the siren of the ballad. But lies are hardly becoming of such a creature. Such put-downs are hardly becoming of you, Apollo. Stop polishing your forehead and stop polishing your characters, huh? Come on, can I be cool for once? Observe the diagram. Lamora, you looked in from the door for just a moment, correct? Yes, that is so. There were bullet holes in the room, yes? But they were in the wall the door is on. You see? Assuming you merely glanced into the room, you couldn't have seen these bullet holes. One more. Yes? My point at the point is a good point. The president has been holding back from them. And I must tell you what it is I saw. But the tampering of the file became recorded, and I'm putting everybody on the road, but you have to find the right step and right place. The politics are more powerful now. Business speaking, still believes that cross-examining her will yield absolutely nothing. But she knew how Mr. Lutus died. And he named her as a witness. You must have seen something, Lamora. Lamora, please consider the testimony. She's gonna indict Maki. That's the only thing that I can think of how this is going to end up. Very well, I shall. What I saw too. I was on my way from the stage to the backstage exit. There was something like a little window there. That's how I saw. There were 2 shots. I couldn't do anything to stop it. But it wasn't Maki. It was a grown person. I know it was. My first time hearing this, I assure you. Nice play your forehead. Get going, Apollo. You were right about Lamar. What's wrong? You don't look too happy. This whole thing smells fishy. That's what's wrong. I was on my way from the stage to the backstage exit. Okay. There was something like a little window there. That's how I saw it. What exactly is something like a little window? Yes, well, window is the best word I know in English. I think this is how it's said, yes? Need not worry, Lamar. Your choice of words is impeccable. There's a small window in the dressing room in question. Perhaps the defense remembers this detail. That little window on the wall. I saw the crime from there. There were 2 shots. I couldn't do anything to stop it. Hold it! You're certain you heard 2 shots fired? Yes, quite certain. I was on my way to the backstage exit. This is when I heard a faint sound, like a gunshot. Wondering what that had been, I peered through the window. That is when I heard the second gunshot, much closer. There were 2 bullet holes at the scene. No contradiction so far. It all happened on the other side of that window. There was nothing I could do. But it wasn't Maki. It wasn't Maki who shot. Are you sure? Yes, quite certain. It amuses me that you would question her testimony. It is testimony in her favor. Isn't it my job to eject? Yeah, Paula, what were you thinking? Trucy, let's just listen to what Lamar has to say. Can you tell me how you were sure? Of course. You see, it was a grown person. I know it was. Hold it. A grown person? That's a little vague. I'm sorry. My skills with your language is lacking, I know. It was a man, a young man.
before that.
Yes, his voice was quite clear. Voice?
What's the diagram? The position was quite clear. That seemed like you wouldn't have to push further to see it.
As a singer, I rely more on my ears than my eyes. When I hear a voice, I do not forget it. That voice was the voice of a man.
So you heard a voice, but wait. Could not have been of the victim, Mr. Latu.
Absolutely not. I did not say it. I did not forget a voice. If it was Mr. Latu that spoke, I would have known.
I'm sure. You were at the window, and you heard the same voice, but both was your mouth.
Paul, it's good testimony. It proves it wasn't Maki.
It turns out to be true. I will cast the case on a completely different light, but the process of putting on a testimony.
There's something wrong here. Obviously, Apollo notices it. I don't quite notice it yet. Though it pains me to say this, there's something about Lamore's testimony that rings false.
Bravo, Air Forehead. Colder than I thought.
I'm sure you remember what the problem is as well as I do, Gavin. As it had been established, no grown man could pass through that air vent. He couldn't have fled the scene of the crime. But that means Lamore has to be lying. I know, and I know it's bad for our case, but I can't shut my eyes to this. Believe me, the idea was tempting.
It is as Air Forehead says. Yet this is not the only contradiction within her testimony.
What next? What's he talking about?
Lamore, I understand why you want to protect Maki. Yet remember, you're the siren of the ballad. And lies do not become of such a creature.
But what's that for the man?
Paolo, what's he talking about? No one bats an eye when I say stuff like this. When he says stuff like this.
I recall the state of the crime scene quite well.
State of the room?
Yes, and when the murder took place, that window was closed. Kinda hard to believe you could hear a voice through it.
Right. Sealed room. But I'm sure.
Lamore, I have nothing but the highest regard for your musical sense. But my opinion of you as a witness is somewhat lesser.
But she's the only eyewitness we have.
So you say, and the victim named her the siren as the witness?
That's right. That's what Mr. Latu.
But your claim, we even entertain the possibility. Brought it to this. Your judge.
What?
The prosecution requests that the witness be excused. Please.
In point of my father's prosecution request, was indeed a person with a possibility.
But if Lamore can't testify, then we don't have a chance of proving Maki's innocence.
Prosecution is over. To the present. Let's continue back with your case.
Danke. Now where were we? Ah yes, I'd like to hear from Fraulein Detective again.
Wait, let me hear Lamore's testimony one last time.
Prosecution is already over. Just this time needed watching. The witness will leave this plan.
I'm sorry I could not be of more assistance.
Last back to the real trial.
We're gonna end it off here for today. Seems that this portion has really gotten us nowhere. Let's face it, we were grasping straws there. Well, we'll see what Prosecutor Gavin has to say next time. Probably leading us to a guilty verdict, I'm sure. In the next episode of Apollo Justice, Ace Attorney, Turnabout Serenade, we're going to find out where this trial leads us next. Thank you guys for watching, and see you guys later.